Hey everybody, Dr. Turpeau here, Black America's Love Doctor, sharing perspective on love and life. Today we're going to talk about a question that someone had that I actually hear this question a lot from different people when I'm on the radio and doing panels. But before we get to that, just want to remind everyone to, if you like these videos, please click like. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Even more important than that is to forward and share these videos with other people you feel might enjoy the content of what we're talking about. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the question for this evening. And the question is, Dear Dr. Turpeau, I ask this because I found that men tend to veer away from me and my female friends who have our finances together. Most of the time, it's our friend who is dependent financially on state funds who can meet and attract nice brothers. I have even had a man say that he didn't feel needed enough by me because I didn't ask him to pay any of my bills. What is really going on? So basically she's asking, are men afraid of financially stable women? Is how I have this title. So let's talk about that, shall we? Truth. Truth. So that is true. Men tend to be feel some kind of way. It's a tendency that a lot of men have toward feeling uncomfortable with women who have their financial act together. And I think part of the reason why that happens a lot is because men like to feel needed. People in general like to feel needed. And one of the traditional ways and deeply embedded in the male psyche is to want to feel needed by providing for their family. Being a provider is traditionally how a male has found his role and his purpose in relationships. So women who have their financial act together can be kind of intimidating for men, and men can find themselves being afraid of that. Because men, when they encounter these women, and more today in today's culture, as women do better financially, men have been more and more feeling like displaced providers. And so because deep down they want to provide and protect for women. But if they can't do that and the women are doing it for themselves, men tend to subconsciously feel that their role has been taken away from them. And so we want to make sure that we understand that is a lot of times what's going on with men, and that's where that discomfort is coming from. So why is this happening? What's going on? I think there's three basic reasons. One is technology. Technological advancements have gotten to the point where a person's physical strength is no longer needed to achieve a lot of the things that we need to do nowadays. And so men, usually that's one of the primary things they bring to the relationship is their physical strength. But with the advancement of technology, science and technology, we have created machines and instruments that have no longer made the male strength as much of a benefit now. So now technology has taken the place of one of the major things that men brought to the relationship. The government has also stepped in to be a provider toward people who are in need. So that's another thing that has happened that has kind of devalued what men bring to the table. Another thing that has done that has been money. Money has really taken the place where now that we have money in our society, as human beings, didn't always have money, but now that money has come to the place and anyone can have access to money, then you don't need necessarily a man to do certain things because anybody who has money can get anything done that they want to get done. So without these things, men have increasingly, with these things, men have increasingly have been feeling less needed. And so without these things, they felt more needed in our ancient history. Okay. So essentially, in a lot of ways, men have been reduced and down to being sperm donors as one of their essential values of what they can provide in these relationships. And if that's what you focus on, if you look at it, then it will leave a lot of women to say, well, what I need a man for? Can't no man do nothing for me I can't do for myself. And essentially, if men swallow this and believe this, then they will feel more and more like they're not needed. And this can create an apathetic attitude in men because they feel like they have no role, they have no purpose. Technology has taken away that, the government, money, these things have taken away the traditional male role in our culture. So when a man finally does find a woman in need, it really gives him a sense of purpose and a role, and so that can be attractive to a man. Everybody wants to feel needed. So what's the answer? What do we do? Let's take it a step further. Not just talk about why, but what is the answer? What do we do? Well, we can't go back. We can't get rid of technology, get rid of the government, get rid of the money. That's ridiculous. We're not going to go backwards in society. But so what we need to do, we need to adjust. I think it was Charles Darwin said, it's not strength and intelligence that makes us survive, but it's adaptability. That is the key to survival. So if we're going to survive, we need to adapt and adjust. So what we can do is, men, we can find other ways, other ways that are not traditional ways to provide value to females. And so what we need to do is, you need to find out what women want and need from you. If you're dating a woman in particular, have a woman in mind, or if you're married to a woman, you need to find what that your particular woman wants from you so that you can provide value. And that can be different things. It can be the traditional protecting and providing, but can be other things, maybe some more emotional, psychological needs. But the main thing, the way you find that out, is to improve your communication with women, which is a need right there. Women want to feel emotionally connected to men. But if you improve your communication, find out what women need from you, then you can adjust and provide that for them. So you have to take the time rather than be lazy and say, well, I'm just going to provide and I'm just going to protect. You really need to take the time out to figure out what your particular woman wants. And when you do that, you'll become a much better lover to that woman. And women, you need to figure out what you need from your man. It may be more psychological, emotional needs. And especially if you feel like you make enough money, you don't need that, then you really need to be able to figure that out so that you can articulate it to the men in your life, particularly the men that you're interested in, or the man that you are coupled with. So just wanted to share some perspective on that, of why you might be feeling that men are intimidated by that. There is some truth there, but it is something that we need to adapt and adjust to so we can continue to have the love relationships that everybody so desperately wants and desires. Harmonious wishes.